Hello guys, Crumbley Reacts 1234 here, and I'm here to react to a YouTuber by the name of DryFruits. And if he reacts to this, I was watching his live stream and I said some things to him, and if he reacts to this tonight, then that'll be crazy. So I'll talk to you guys later. So video up in 3, 2, 1. Back to the very beginning. 3, 2, 1, go.
I didn't mean to find this. One night, while scrolling through some old Minecraft forums, I stumbled onto something strange. A series of screenshots posted by a long-abandoned Reddit account. 20 screenshots total, all from one player's world. The survival world seemed pretty normal, but the chat messages were what really caught my attention. At first, they seemed normal, just
hopefully you guys like this.
But the more I looked, the
Including
more I was watching
DryFruits.
someone slowly unravel. The final message they left behind wasn't just odd, it was terrifying, and they disappeared right after. What happened to this player?
Give this video a big thumbs up, and my life goal for this video is like 10 likes. Hopefully.
Player named Alvin13 showing off a new Minecraft world he created.
Sorry if I'm talking over DryFruits' voice.
Gather some wood and build a small base near the water.
Sorry.
Honestly, screenshot number 1 was fairly normal, nothing too out of the ordinary, so I moved right on to screenshot 2. Day 1 hut, lol. Just need something to survive the night. And much like screenshot 1, this second one was really just basic as well. The player Alvin made a few wooden tools, dug some dirt, and made a small starter base near the water.
I just had to adjust.
No experience to any other player who had just started a new world. Nothing seemed out of the norm yet. And this pattern would continue up to screenshot 5, starting a mine, collecting some more materials, cave exploring, but that was until I clicked onto screenshot 6. You see, in the previous screenshot, number 5, Alvin is seen crafting a bed to get through the night. So in screenshot 6, he heads back up to his base, but this is when something pretty weird happens. Can't sleep, mobs everywhere, weirdly a lot more than usual, or maybe I'm just rusty. In this screenshot, Alvin is saying that there are too many hostile mobs near him to sleep. And if we look at the bottom of the screen, we can actually see the too many monsters nearby message very faintly, proving that what he's saying is correct. But, although Alvin is saying it seems like there's a lot more than usual, I actually disagree. Just by looking outside the door, we are able to see that there are only 4 mobs, which, when taken into consideration, really isn't that many.
Now here's something. DryFruits is not taking likely of this, because I just realized that this Alan13 guy is literally playing Minecraft on a PC. Literally on a PC. Like, you barely see it, but it's like on a mouse. So hopefully he knows that now.
It's just an ordinary occurrence in the game. So to gather more evidence, I moved right onto screenshot 7, and surprisingly, things only got weirder. Screenshot 7 starts like any other. It's now morning, and Alvin is currently right outside the entrance of his mine. However, it wasn't until I read the message when things got strange. I thought I heard something down there, not even joking, like footsteps but echoey. Alvin is claiming that he hears footsteps coming out of his mine, and at first this seems pretty odd. What could possibly be making those sounds he hears? But then I realized that the footsteps are most likely just coming from some hostile mob that spawned down there, like a zombie or skeleton. And after taking a closer look, we can actually see that there's no torches lighting up the bottom of it, which almost confirms his theory to be true, due to monsters needing complete darkness in order to spawn in. And after solving that mystery, I moved right on to the 8th screenshot. At first, screenshot 8 looks like nothing too extraordinary is going on. Just a picture of the scenic view of the forest outside of his base. However, then I read his message. Might just be in my head, but I feel like I keep seeing stuff like quickly moving every time I turn the camera. I'm probably just tired.
Well, shit.
I don't know though.
No shit, Sherlock. I see something. Looks like a mob. Maybe Herobrine? Probably young. Probably not.
However, the way he is phrasing it makes it seem like this can't be the answer. He says that he keeps seeing stuff quickly move out of frame every time he turns around, which doesn't really fit the description of any normal mob. All of them move relatively slowly. The only solution I can come to is that it's all just in his head and he's probably just paranoid, partially due to the other experiences before this. So looking for more answers, I continue moved on to screenshot 9, and this is when things got scary. Did I break his bed and forget? I swear it was right here. I slept last night. Now things are getting really strange. Alvin, now back at his base, has found that his bed has somehow vanished. I began looking back at all his other posts and realized something just as equally bizarre. We never actually see Alvin's bed in any of his screenshots. Could it be that he never actually had one? This would explain a lot. Maybe he truly is just tired and is forgetting that he never placed a bed in his base. The closest thing we had to it is even in the process of making one, but we never actually see him craft it, let alone bring it up to his base. So, mystery solved. He never actually had one. He's just misremembering, right? Well, that's when I took a closer look and realized something terrifying. In screenshot 6, when all the mobs are outside of his base, I remember when he said he couldn't sleep, and by looking just above his hotbar, we see the message, "You may not rest now, there are monsters nearby." If you didn't know, the only way that this message appears is to try sleeping while there are too many mobs nearby, meaning that he must have had a bed. After realizing this, I literally got chills. And
Wait a
things
minute.
only get even scarier in the next post, screenshot 10. When he says that he even
Hold
asked
up.
his little brother if he went on his computer and
That's right, he did make a... that's right, there. If he had that message pop up, that would mean there was a bed. Why was he creating a second bed? Be flashy?
messes his world, and his brother said that it wasn't him. But who knows? Maybe Alvin could have broken it off camera and just doesn't remember. I mean, that's really the only explanation I can think of. So not knowing where else to go from here, I clicked onto the following post, screenshot 11, and this was just
And also, DryFruits, see
After the
this?
whole broken bed
Hi.
situation, Alvin decided to go mining to clear his mind. But while exploring in a cave, he noticed something peculiar. Found this while strip mining. It's not a cave. Looks like someone
So,
tunneled here. Maybe it's
Hi,
JK,
DryFruits, if you're
LOL.
seeing
I think
this.
it's probably just world corruption or something. There appears to be weird tunnels, which look like long, narrow hallways. Alvin jokes around saying it could be Herobrine, a Minecraft myth which is known to leave weird anomalies in your world similar to this. But then he follows it up by saying it's most likely just world corruption. However, to put it plainly, world corruption just doesn't do this. Now, although world corruption can destroy massive chunks out of your world, it never leaves weird long tunnels as seen in the picture. These tunnels, oddly enough, look man-made. And despite spending hours trying to think of a possible reason for this, I just couldn't. I honestly even began thinking maybe it actually was his little brother just playing a lighthearted prank on him. And after looking at the next screenshot in the series, this theory does have some possible validity to it.
This sound,
In
this
screenshot 12,
background
Alvin got out
sound.
of the cave and was
I
exploring
hope I
his
don't
world when he came
get
across a
copyrighted by the
long trail of
background
torches.
sound.
Don't
So I'm
remember
gonna
releasing these torches.
talk
They go on for
over
like 200 blocks.
the sound
Follow
so
them and
then
just
it doesn't happen, so that I don't get
Maybe all
copyrighted.
this truly was just Alvin's little brother. I mean, that really seems like the only plausible reason for all of this. The bed disappearing, the weird tunnels, and now these torches? I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense. So thinking that we finally put an end to this mystery, I continued to the next post just to make sure. And I had a name tag here. Definitely didn't use it. I swear I remember it was right there. Unless I'm going crazy. If this all just is his little brother, everything honestly does check out. His brother probably went onto his computer and messed with a bunch of things in his world, either to just troll him or trying to freak his brother out. And if it's the latter, then his little brother is obviously succeeding at this point. Alvin has become increasingly more worried and paranoid with every so-called oddity that he experiences. So for further verification, I went on to the next screenshot, number 14. And it's just Alvin outside, staring at the moon, saying he's going to wait until morning to start making some more progress, jokingly saying it would be easier with a bed. And to put it frankly,
God damn,
this was
this
the last
shoulder.
screenshot before things became straight up terrifying. Something really
No,
weird
so
happened last night.
subscribe to this channel, and also shout out to DryFruits. I am subscribed to him.
I asked her what happened.
So,
She said that while she was getting something from the garage,
hopefully you
she found
subscribe,
car
like
all
the
scratched
video
up
and
on the
everything,
side.
and
She
like
then
his
noticed that the side door, which
video
was normally
here,
always
so
locked, was left wide open.
thank you.
She said that
That
someone
means a
must have
lot.
broken in. But what's weird is that it looks like nothing from her car or garage was actually stolen. Very strange. But what makes it scarier is the fact that we were upstairs all asleep when they would have broken in. I really have no clue who would do this. We live in a pretty safe neighborhood and stuff like this would never happen. She tried checking the front doorbell camera and it said there was movement in front of the door and the camera didn't catch anything besides a raccoon, so who knows?
Sorry for the cut. My mom just
didn't know what to
sneezed.
think when I first read this. While Alvin and his family were asleep, somebody broke in. But the strangest part about this is that they apparently didn't steal anything. Why would someone break into a house just to not take anything?
And yes, I still live with my
Now, his mom
parents.
did say she found her car all
And I don't
scratched
give a
up. But
hell
why would someone
fuck.
do this? What could have been their motive? Alvin did mention he lived in a relatively safe neighborhood, so break-ins like this didn't really happen often, if ever. He also mentioned the fact that their camera actually detected movement in front of their garage door at around 2 in the morning. However, they couldn't see anything besides a raccoon scurrying around, which was probably what set off the camera in the first place. But this now leads us into a bigger mystery.
Seems likely.
Who was this that broke into the house?
But we don't have
caused them to do this?
trash
Is
pandas
all
running
this somehow
around.
connected to what's going on in Alvin's Minecraft world?
Besides,
More questions than I had answers
I
for. I
barely
continued on with Alvin's
live
next
in the
post,
middle of nowhere.
Screenshot 16.
Barely.
And this was bone chilling. Alvin was still inside his base, just like the last post, but it was a message that caught my attention. Okay, now I'm freaked out. Remember how I said someone broke into our house? Well, it's been a few days, and now we just found something really weird. It was like 1 in the morning. I had just logged off my Minecraft world when I heard a huge crashing coming from what sounded like outside my house. The rest of my family was asleep, and I was debating going downstairs to check. After building up the courage, I finally
DryFruits, see this cut? I'm sorry. I just had to cut.
I made sure all the doors were locked before going back upstairs. I tried going back to sleep, but just couldn't. I was just too nervous, especially considering what had just happened a few days ago. When the rest of my family woke up in the morning, I asked them if anyone else heard the sound, but they said they were all asleep. I told them what happened, and they all agreed that it was probably just some animal. I really don't think so, though. I'm still pretty spooked from this, so I'm gonna just take it easy for the rest of the day. Probably won't post again until tomorrow. In the middle of the night, while the rest of Alvin's family was asleep, he heard the sound of a huge crash come from outside his house, which in retrospect could have just been a neighbor making some noise, but the fact that it was this early in the morning, paired with the previous event a few nights before, really makes me think otherwise. After building the courage to check out what the sound was, he didn't find anything. And after locking up all the doors, he went back upstairs to bed, but couldn't shake his nerves enough to fall asleep. After sitting up all night with nothing but his thoughts, he asked his family if they
And if
heard anything
DryFruits
last
comment
night,
down this
but they
video and
unanimously
saying
all
react
said
to
no.
more
He ended off his
ARGs,
message by saying he probably wouldn't post again
I
until
probably
tomorrow.
will,
It's clear that Alvin
or
was
will
now
not, I don't
terrified,
know.
and for good reason. All the strange things going
Because
on in this
I
Minecraft world,
barely
coupled with what's now going on in
get a
real
lot
life.
of
At first, I
subscribers.
suspected it was just his little brother messing with him.
So
But
if
now,
I get 50 or
could any
something,
of this all be connected in
I'll
some
go
way?
live
I really have no
for a
clue.
reaction.
I felt like I had to find out more, so hesitantly I continued on to his next post, screenshot number 17. And this was where everything began connecting. I was just playing in the world, organizing the loot for my chest, when I went out to get some more food and swear I saw something out of the corner of my eye, like a very dark, almost blacked out figure. It looked like a player.
Okay.
I really don't know what it could have been. Maybe I'm just still
Sorry
paranoid from all the
for
weird events going on in real
with
life.
my lips on the
Breaking through
camera,
loud
I'm
sounds,
just
but I
reading
can
what
swear
they're
I
saying.
actually saw this. Who knows? Maybe it was just
Yeah,
a ghost,
I'm
but
gonna
I
talk
don't
over
know.
this because I
I will
hear
update
background
anything else
music,
strange
so I'm
happening.
gonna talk over
Alvin was
it
just
as
playing in his
loud as I
world. He was a
can,
regular old
so
high
then
school kid. When
so
he went
then
out to get some more
YouTube
food, he
doesn't
saw a very dark,
hear
almost
it.
pitch-black figure out of the corner of his eye. At first, I was going to say this could have just been an Enderman that he saw outside his house,
So,
or another
yeah.
mob, especially since we can see the sun is just now starting to rise. But then I remembered something. This isn't the first time Alvin has claimed to see a dark figure following him around in his world. Back in screenshot 8, he described seeing something that kept moving away every time he tried looking at it. I don't think this is just some paranoia anymore. There's just way too many things going on, both in the game and real life, that add up. Maybe it's true. Maybe somehow the oddities in the game he keeps experiencing does, in one way or another, correlate with what's going on in real life. With no way to prove whether or not my theory was true, I went on to the next post, screenshot 18. I really don't think I can handle the stress anymore. This will probably be my last post I make playing this world. I'm gonna go for a walk and go get some lunch. Chances are this is my final post. It's just all these weird things in my world, and then now in real life, I really can't take it anymore. Sorry to everyone who I may have disappointed with ending the series. I'm still not sure. Maybe I'll force myself to keep on playing, but probably
How much
not.
time we have?
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, just had to see.
Alvin is desperate now for a break from all this weird stuff going on in both Minecraft and his real life. It's sad to see how much stress and anguish this has caused him. He even is considering quitting the game altogether at this point, saying he doesn't know if he can handle the stress of it anymore. We can see just how paranoid he has become, even going as far as...
So I'm gonna talk again because I hear background music. So how is everyone today? How goes everything? So YouTube, don't demonetize my channel. Don't make a copyright thing for my channel, please. Please, and thank you.
This wasn't a good thing after all. It's been like 40 minutes since my last post, but while I was heading back to my base, I promise you I heard footsteps in the game that sounded like they were following me.
So yeah, how's everyone's day going? Not taking over another copyright sound.
I don't know if I'm just being paranoid
So
or
yeah.
it's just in my head or what's happening anymore. I really think there's something else in my world, and I just cannot prove it. It's terrifying me every day. This combined with the weird things going on in my life, I need to
This is great.
this really. I don't know if I'll build up the courage to continue playing. I will try, but I can't make a promise. I'll keep you guys posted. After thinking about it, he decided he would continue on playing. But just as he came back to his world, Alvin immediately began hearing footsteps again. And this time, they sounded like they were following him. After pausing his game immediately, he sat back to think about how he would move on from this. He knew he could quit the world for good at any moment for better mental clarity, but knew that he would be leaving behind many disappointed fans who had been following his post and journey in the game. If he did quit, all his problems and worries in the game would be gone within an instant. But putting his fans first, he decided ultimately that he would, in fact, continue on playing. And he didn't realize it yet, but this would become his worst mistake ever. The 20th screenshot was the last post he ever made to his account, and as I began to read it, I realized just how terrifying Alvin's story truly was. I think it found me in real life. This was Alvin's final message before abandoning the Reddit account he was making all these posts on. Just 6 haunting words. I think it found me IRL. What could this mean? Why was this his last message before seemingly vanishing off the internet?
This boy is going
kidnapped. And prepare yourself, because this rabbit hole is only just beginning. After reading the final message, I didn't know what to do. For a week straight, I didn't make any progress towards solving this mystery. I just sat there, thinking about the gravity of the situation. Eventually, I decided that it was finally time to start working towards solving this mystery. I began by first looking at Alvin's Reddit account, where he posted all of these screenshots in hopes of finding maybe a little more information about him. However, after looking, I came to the realization that these 20 screenshots were the only thing he put on Reddit. No other posts, no bio, nothing. So that didn't help. But then I thought of something. Maybe we could try searching his username, Alvin13, on other platforms to see if he has any other profiles. But after looking up his username on all different social media such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, there were no results. I still found nothing. Obviously, if we wanted to actually make progress in finding Alvin, we would have to dig a little deeper than this. So I began thinking of all the things I could possibly do. And that's when it hit
look up his
we can try looking back at all of his Reddit
thing
posts
here,
with all the screenshots,
like
see if we possibly missed
dash
anything.
Alan13 on YouTube to see if he actually has a channel.
Our last resort. Every little detail matters.
Think harder,
Maybe we'll find a clue.
not smarter.
So starting back from square one, I began looking back and investigating all the screenshots.
I said smarter, by the way.
Initially, I really didn't find anything too important. And it would remain that way for a majority of the screenshots. I would click on them, try finding some hidden clue, and after discovering nothing, would move on. But then, against all odds, I actually found something huge. It was on the 19th screenshot, a detail so small that I didn't even notice it until my 3rd time around. A detail hidden in plain sight, in front of our eyes, this whole entire time. Here, this is what the Minecraft pause screen normally looks like. It looks pretty ordinary, right? And this is what Alvin's pause screen looked like. You you probably haven't even noticed it yet. Do you see how Alvin's screen says player reporting? Well, the only way to get that option to show up is by opening your world to LAN. And if you didn't know, when you open your world to LAN, it means that other players who are on the same network as you are able to join your world, basically making your single player world act as a server. And at first, this didn't seem like
Yeah, you gotta do the whole
after
thing to be
thinking about it, I
connected to the
came to a
same
horrifying
Wi-Fi
realization.
and everything.
Please, just
So
hear me out on this. What if all those weird
yeah.
things that were going on in his world was actually another player secretly logged into his world this whole entire time? And when you start adding up all the facts, it makes sense. Throughout this entire journey, one thing had remained persistent. Alvin would be playing in his world like normal, but then something just plain out strange would happen to him. Be it the broken bed, missing items, or the mysterious tunnels. Something weird was always happening. And sure, I'll admit it, at first I did think it was just Alvin's little brother messing with him. But then I realized that he also heard footsteps following him, and most importantly, kept seeing a strange, dark figure out of the corner of his eye. We can pretty much rule out that this was all his little brother at this point.
I didn't dance to the copyright music. Don't know. I did not. I actually did not. No. So I'm gonna talk over it and a little bit of his, so then I could not get copyrighted.
Finally put this mystery to rest, I continued on investigating, carefully inspecting every minuscule detail, every pixel. And that's when I came to another horrifying discovery, one that literally gave me chills. You see, it was when I was looking at his 8th screenshot when I noticed something kind of odd. While zoomed into the image, scanning around for anything I could use as a clue, something stood out. In the bottom right corner of the image was what seemed like a zombie, but after zooming in a little further, I came to the shocking realization that this was no mob. This was someone. Someone was watching him. I sat there in shock for what felt like hours. Every fiber within my body was telling me not to go on. But after a while, I finally mustered up the courage to continue on investigating. And that's when I came to an equally frightening revelation. Again, looking back at all his other posts, more closely than ever this time, and realized that whoever this player was, they were secretly watching Alvin in the back of almost every single screenshot. They were there when Alvin was mining. They were there when Alvin was in his base. They were there when Alvin was exploring caves, adventuring, gathering food. They were there always. It was that clear as day. All of those disturbing things going on in his world, the broken bed, the missing items,
Just had to adjust the camera a little.
Figure he kept seeing, it was all this player. But now that we finally have confirmation that there actually was a player following Alvin this whole time, that still leaves us with two huge questions. One, why were they doing this? And most importantly, two, who is this player? I decided that I would try finding out the second question first. Who was this player secretly watching Alvin this whole time? I began by looking back at all the screenshots, just trying to see if it was possible to make out a name tag above the player, to maybe find a username. But after zooming in on every single image, I realized that it just wasn't possible. The player would always be just far enough away from Alvin to the point where the name tag wasn't visible anymore. So that plan failed. And I realized that there
Actually, there's a way to hide your name tag, your gamer tag thing there, so not by crunching or anything. There's literally a way to hide it, but I forgot what it was.
I realized something terrifying. Remember before when I said that opening a world to LAN allows players on the same network as you to join your world? Well, in order for this player to have joined Alvin, he must have been using the same internet connection, meaning using the same Wi-Fi, meaning that they must have been in the same house. Yeah, remember back in screenshot 15 when Alvin was telling the story about someone breaking into their house in the middle of the night, but never actually stole anything? It all makes sense now. Whoever this player was the same person who broke into their house all those nights ago, and that's why they never stole anything. This whole time this person only ever broke in just to use the internet connection to join Alvin's world. But why? And terrifyingly,
To stalk to see if it's a good time to kidnap.
Remember when Alvin mentioned hearing a huge crashing sound from outside his house in the middle of the night?
Distraction.
This must have also been the same person attempting to break in. This must mean that every time Alvin was playing in the world and experienced something weird happening, this person must have been simultaneously hiding away in his house, using it as a pathway to secretly connect to his world. And what makes this even scarier is the fact that Alvin only caught this person a couple of times. But who knows how long this person has actually been doing this, secretly breaking in order to spy on Alvin. But that now leads us into the next part of the mystery. We now know who this player is, but just why exactly are they ordered to spy on Alvin? And this is where the story gets darker. And once again, just hear me out on this. It will all make sense in the end. What if this whole entire time, this person has been breaking into Alvin's house, joining his world, following his every step in an attempt to stalk him? And I mean, it's not crazy. Why else would someone go through all this trouble and effort just to join someone else's game? Unless, of course, they were stalking them. Think about it. This person has been secretly following Alvin's every movement in the game, which means they would have also seen all of his messages, including the ones where Alvin becomes increasingly more paranoid and even goes as far as talking about the break-ins. Whoever this is, they know that Alvin is becoming suspicious, and they also know that their time's almost up. And this is where my dark theory begins. What if, this whole time, Alvin's stalker was waiting for the perfect time to strike? He's tracked him down in-game, broke into his house, read every message he typed. What if, knowing Alvin had become increasingly skeptical over time, they decided to silence him before he could get another word out about it to anyone else? And just what if this was his plan from the very start, to kidnap Alvin? I mean, why else would he be spying on Alvin, following his every move? And after seeing Alvin become more and more paranoid, he knew that his time was almost up. He was on the verge of being caught, so he decided it was either now or never. And this is all just a horrifying theory. We may never know the truth as to why Alvin actually disappeared. But, pairing all of this with Alvin's last message, I think it found me IRL. I think it's now obvious. This message was Alvin's last-ditch effort, a final cry for help. He knew he had been found. He knew he had little time left before whoever this was would be taking him. Throughout this entire journey, Alvin had been leaving clues for the stalker to use. What time his family would be asleep, what time he left his house, his every thought. This entire time, Alvin had unknowingly been helping the stalker with his ultimate goal. And it gets even creepier when you consider the fact that Alvin's final post was
I have to hear something. Brighten up the image to see if there's something there.
Around 3 in the morning, when the stalker knew that Alvin's whole family would be asleep besides him. And truthfully, although this is just a theory,
Because if the person is there, then you'll get a gamer tag.
We may never get the full truth of what happened to Alvin that fateful night, but
Because like,
that's
just
for the best.
brighten up. So this is where my video ends right now. So hopefully you all have a great time and have a nice time with your family, with your whole Christmas and stuff. So hopefully you all have a nice time. Wish you all have a nice Christmas. I know it's just started, but still have a nice time. And goodbye.